There we go. That took a little bit. Hey, good evening, good evening. Happy Sunday night. This is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Mid-Missouri. And tonight, if you're on, give me a shout out. Let me know you're here watching. Hey, Rosie, thanks for joining. Tonight, we're going to do another hey, Karen, thanks for joining. I am doing another what I call a mantle card. So this is a fun fold card for Christmas that's going to be great for that recipient to put on their mantle, on their kitchen cabinet, you know, whatever they have to kind of display that gorgeous beauty. So this is an accordion fold. I'm using the Joy of Noel suite and the Joy of Christmas DSB. Hey, Mary, thanks for joining. So I know you'll love this one because I think you love this, sweet Mary. So this is the accordion fold. So this is what we're going to do. And let's get started. We are going to pull out my Simply Score tool, which if you watch me very often, you know that I love this. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you guys like it. This is maybe the third or fourth card I made this weekend to do tonight. And I just kept going, I don't love this one. Ooh, I don't love this one. Ooh, I don't love this one. My husband saw this one and he's like, this is the one. So, all right, I've got my stylus, and I'm using my stylus off my Take Your Pick tool because my stylus on my board has disappeared. So you're going to score this a couple of times. So I'm going to do this at 1 3/4. I'm going to do this at 3 1/2. I'm going to do this at 5 1/4. Hey, Angie, thanks for joining. And then I'm going to do this at 7. Okay, as I've said in the past, I'm just going to share it again. The reason that I like the Simply Score tool when I'm doing these fun folds is this gives a really deep impression when you're making these multi-layer cards that have a lot of folds to them. So I think this is just a go-to tool. I'm going to throw in a couple of tips tonight as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fold this against me. And I'm going to fold the big notch. And I'm going to use a bone folder and I'm going to put a nice solid crease in there. So then I'm going to open it up and I'm going to fold it back. All right. And then I'm not going to burnish it like in an accordion. That is how it's going to lay out, but I'm not going to do that because sometimes when you burnish it, it can create extra little lines. So then we fold one back. This is what I call the Mountain Valley Mountain fold. You'll hear a lot of demonstrators talk about a Mountain Valley Mountain, and this is what it is. All right, so just kind of fold it back and forth upon itself until you get this nice little accordion. So there we go. So that's what we've got. Oh, I should have gone ahead and done this one as well. All right, now, so this is a 5 1/2 by 11 sheet, and I'll include all of those dimensions tomorrow on my blog, so just check it out, just sit back and relax. This is a piece of 3 by 6 shaded spruce, and we're just gonna burnish that at 3. So that's gonna give you your inside. Hey Amy, thanks for joining. So that's just gonna give you that inside fold there. This is what's gonna connect it all together. All right, so we're gonna do a little DSP adhering here. And I think I'm gonna use liquid adhesive tonight because I have it right here. And I pulled out an extra one just in case I don't run out. So liquid adhesive, you can use Stampin' Seal, you can use liquid adhesive, whatever your adhesive of choice is, use it. It all works for this card. I do have a spot where I use some tear and tape. All right, so this gives me a little bit of wiggle room, and it's going to set up there. I want these to be on this inside so that they match up. So let's go ahead and do a green one on the inside. And remember, with this liquid adhesive, the reason it and I don't always get along is because I get a little heavy-handed with it. So this is not a lot of edge on this. It's going pretty much right up to this side. So I'm being very careful as I place it. So these are 1 5/8 pieces. 1 5/8 by 5 3/8 is what my DSP cuts are here. But once again, it'll be on my blog. All right, here we go. Next weekend, I will have tons of stories, I'm sure. I'm going crafting with my girlfriends down in a small town about 2 hours south of here. It's a huge event. They have like 400 crafters, I think, 400 or 500. So it should be fun. So we'll have lots of tales to tell. Hopefully I'll have a card to make. All right. I'm going to push that down. I think, yeah, there we go. All right, so this is your card base. Yep, Karen, fun times ahead. Lots of snacks, lots of fun. It'll be wonderful. Okay, so what this is going to do is this is going to fold and set right here. So you're going to adhere one to the top and then one to the very back accordion. So you're going to put it on the plaid pieces here. Okay, now earlier I did try to do this and this was a mess. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this, and the reason that I'm going to do that, I'll explain in a minute. All right, so I'm just taking a couple of pieces of tear tape. You can use Stampin' Seal Plus. This is just a little bit stronger than what your normal seal and liquid adhesive are. Anytime I do one of these fun fold cards like this, I usually bring in the tear tape just because I feel like it holds just a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit this on here, and I only put it on one side first. And I'm going to kind of line this up so that it's going to be right in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and press it down and give it a burnish. Now I'm going to flip it over and flip it open. That's why you have to keep a towel on your table, Rosie, so you can wipe all those grossness off. All right. Rosie says she can't eat while she's crafting. Right now I have a bag of candy corn in my office that I've been snacking on for probably 2 weeks. I'm trying to make it last. All right, so I'm going to set this aside, and I'm just going to fold this in and burnish it. All right, so the reason that I went ahead and added this instead of doing the decoration and everything on the outside is, as you can tell, this die cut is pretty big. And if you're not careful as you're adding things, you're gonna make it too big and it's gonna go off the edge. Ask me how I know. I can tell you. Yep, I did it. All right, so I'm gonna take some liquid adhesive and I'm gonna give it a good amount here. And I'm going to set that on my card front, and I'm going to make sure that it's not going to be over the edges at all. So I make sure that I'm good here and here. All right, now I have a piece of cherry cobbler that I cut with the Christmas Classics die. So this came from the Christmas Classic dies, and then I cut that in Old Olive, and then I cut it in cherry cobbler, and then I also used this piece and this piece from this die set. So I cut my Noel out using the Joyful DSP, so it kind of gives that gold wood grain look. So what I'm going to do is, this is a really close call. Hey Vicki, thanks for joining. So I'm going to make sure that I have it set up so that it'll fit and not hang off. Now I did earlier, I don't think I can do it on camera though. Earlier I took out the die and I put my letters just back in the die and put the adhesive on the back and then just set my die cut on top, and it worked pretty well, but I don't know if I'm talented enough to do that on a live here. So we're just going to use just a little bit of liquid adhesive. Don't get too heavy handed, And we will line this up with my tweezers and hopefully get it straight. All right, just a little bit here, a little bit there. And this right here is why I don't use liquid adhesive. I've already got it all over my thumb and forefinger. Even when I use tweezers, I get it all over me. And then I'm just sticky everywhere. And I need to have my fingers clean for my snacks. All right, here we go. That one got a little crooked. Okay. All right, and one last letter. I'm going to turn this around. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to get my glue out of the way, put my tweezers away. And now I'm going to add 2 Stampin' Dimensionals. You wear gloves when you use glue. That's a really good idea, except my gloves would get stuck to the glue, Janet. All right, tear that away. And the reason I'm only using 2 is because we're going to be putting some extra little die cuts in here. And if I put it all the way around the border, they won't slide underneath really easily. And you really just need it right there so that there we go. That Noel's a little crooked and I'm not liking it, but it is what it is. All right, so I've taken some shaded spruce, some mossy meadow, and some gold distress paper. And I'm using my Take Your Pick tool to poke out some of those little things that hadn't come out and free yet. So we'll get there. All right, and this is where we're gonna do a little more adhering. I'm gonna refresh this because it says that I'm not online. And I know it's probably lying to me. Yep, see, it's lying to me. I'm gonna refresh. See, every time, every week, that seems to be the going trend. But Facebook, I'm not giving up on ya. Nope, nope, nope. All right. I am thinking about adding a YouTube live in the evening. Is there any evenings that are better for you guys? All right, I'm going to glue that underneath. And then I'm going to make sure that I have my holly straight. All right. We'll put that down there. I think I'm going to move that out just a little bit. And then I'm going to use a dimensional on this one. And you're going to see that it's a little too big, but that's okay because we're going to slide it underneath here. All right, there we go. Just to give it that little umpity-ump. All right, and then I think what I'm going to do is maybe just one of these on top. And see, I'm just making sure that I'm not going over this edge. So this is part of the reason that I went ahead and adhered this front piece before, instead of building it and then putting it on there. All right. All right, I want to remind you of the joining special right now. Okay, here we go. There's our front. That's it. Joining special right now. You can get 35% more, or you can save 35% on your starter kit. The awesome thing about it is you've got free shipping. And let's face it, guys, shipping is a huge deal with anybody that you purchase from. I bought something this afternoon and I'm paying $8 for it to be shipped. I'm like, geez, this is gonna weigh like 2 ounces and you're charging me $8? So paper is heavy. Dies are heavy. Punches are crazy heavy. So to get free shipping on this stuff is Wonderful. Okay. So for the inside, I'm going to do a couple of stamps. I'm using the Brightest Glow. This is in the annual catalog. If you do not have this and you're making Christmas cards, this is the stamps that you want because the sentiments are beautiful, the font is beautiful, and the matching dies that are not available as a bundle now, but they're beautiful. All right, so I'm using Hoping Your Christmas Shines Bright with the love of family and friends. All right, we're going to ink that up in Cherry Cobbler. And I'll take that. That's not all crooked and gross. All right. Then we're going to add a Merry Christmas. All right. We're doing that in Cherry Cobbler. And I'll line this up. Give it a stamp. I'll take that one too. All right. So this card, in my opinion, goes together really quick and easy. This is one that you could make a lot of. And it's super impressive. So the double easel cards that I love to make, I feel like those are a little more time consuming. But this one, I feel like is pretty quick. Okay, we're just going to add a little Cherry Cobbler matte to it. On here. So like I said, if the joining special interests you, give me a shout out. Let's chat about it. Because even if you don't want to sell it, most of us are going to be able to come up with our quarterly minimum. And even if you don't want to, you're like, nah, I thought about it. I liked it. I don't like it. That's fine. There's no obligation. Grab the starter kit. Okay. Now I'm being very careful when I glue this one on here. For multiple reasons. So I'm making sure that it's going to fold underneath here, for one. But the other thing I'm being careful is, when you're using the Cherry Cobbler ink, it has a lot of pigment. Oh, puppies. Karen, that's okay. Thanks for joining. So the Cherry Cobbler ink takes a little bit to dry because it's got a lot of pigment because it's so dark. So be careful when you're pressing down so you don't get those ghosts popping out. That looks like I cut it a little bit too big. Oh, because I did. Well, there we go. But that's fine. It'll look fine. It's not hanging off the back or the side. So there's your card. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, let's do an envelope and then we'll be done for the week. Like I said, I'll be back next week after a weekend of fun with my friends, crafting and doing all sorts of stuff. So hopefully I'll get a lot of work done. All right, I'm going to take one of the pine boughs and I'm just going to stamp it once with shaded spruce. And then I'm just going to rotate it just a little bit and do that second generation. Just because I think that looks a little nicer. All right, I've got a piece of the Joyful DSP that we're going to add to the corner. Or to the flap. Got Bailey dog hair, or Lily dog hairs all over my room here. And the more I sweep and mop and vacuum, the more they shed. Okay. So I'm a musician, so if you notice, I did turn that paper the right way because I wanted to make sure that it didn't look silly. All right, we'll take my snips and do a real quick cut. Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate you taking your time to spend with me. Like I said, don't forget about the joining special. It's only for another, holy cow, is that 9 days? 9 days. And it'll be November. All right, here we go. Have an amazing week. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you later.